Okay, so hello, we're Team Harryhausen. Today we're gonna present a movie. Here we have Kay, Anastasia, Kiana, and me, Nicola. And we're gonna show you the process behind our very short stop motion animation movie called The Clown Show. So let's continue.
So, logline, a clown who has a show and wants to make people laugh. This is a logline that we made for the animation and also for the synopsis. A clown is performing his most important show, trying his best to entertain the audience, but during the show, the best laughs come when everything falls apart. The genre is comedy, obviously when you see it you found out. And theme is finding joy in failure. And animation technique is stop motion that is done in Tahoma. And the sound and everything is done in After Effects, and the background that is 3D is done in Blender. And target audience is for all ages.
So for the character design, we first begin with this. We wanted him to be a clown, and we experimented with what type of pants, what type of t-shirt we wanted, shirt, hair and face. The gloves, we wanted him to have big hands, but that didn't work at the end. So this is for the skeleton. This is the sketch. This is the final digital skeleton I did for the armature. Okay, character designs. This is mostly sketches, it's not like a final character sheet. I tried 3 different versions because we all wanted these 3 main colors to have. We mostly close to this design for the colors, and for the shirt we close to this.
Storyboard. So we had the first idea was that the curtains open and the clown walk in the stage, but because of the timing and the things that we did mistake, and we had to change the first part. So in the actual animation, the 2 of them, 3 and 4, they're not in the animation because we had to reshoot it. So this is the storyboard that starts from the curtains open and the clown is standing there. And then this is a spoiler, but anyway. And then he bounces ball and the nose actually, and then throw it, and the things happen. And I don't know, you want to tell from the storyboard or wait to watch the animatic, or
you can go to the end, right?
go to the animatic. This was the animatic with the rough sound. The final sound is a little different. And yeah.
So in the project I handled the backgrounds, and also the editing of the movie. I'm going to talk about this a bit later. But for me personally, the brush for the backgrounds, as you can see here, it was the first time that I used Blender, so I had some struggles, but after all the software, I would say it's really friendly to people who don't know what they're doing. Try to emulate more of a circus-y stage, especially with the reds and the golds. Color, also adding side lights and not concentrating projectors, because I think it would illuminate the whole background a bit more. This is the actual background we used in the movie, a little bit more cropped. Also to talk about it from the post-production, the editing style, I would say it went fairly smoothly. We faced some complications. For example, one of them was because, as you will see later, our final design for the clown is baggy white pants and a white face, which when shooting on green screen, a lot of the green reflects in the white, and so when you try to mask sometimes, when you try to key out the green, sometimes it connects also the little shadowy places in the pens. So this was something that had to be taken care of. I guess it took a bit more time. But apart from that, I would say you'll see a bit later the whole design for the clown. My thought was because of the curly hair, it would be very difficult because usually when you do a lot of fuzzy things on green screen, maybe a bit more difficult to capture everything in it, but I think we chose the right materials for the hair that at the same time it looks curly, it looks fluffy, but it doesn't have all the little strands of hair that pop out, so it's able to contain its shape very easily, and it was able to cut out, I would say, quite easily as well. So here we have the Gantt chart that we did at the beginning. We didn't write any names on the actual spaces because you can see the spaces on the top left, the names that with the colors. So at the beginning, we all got to do the brainstorm. Yes, not that, sorry. Then Kiana handled the storyboards and the animatics. We also didn't have from the beginning our rough sound, we did it later. As you see, I handled the rough backgrounds. Then Anastasia did the character design that she presented a bit earlier. Then we all got to build the character, which Anastasia will see a bit later. And Anastasia did the costume design. All the clothes of the character were, I think, sewn just for our character.
Yes. So.
And later on, Kay handled the final audio, the animation we all did together, and I handled the editing, the compositing, I guess, but really, I would say one and the same thing. And then did the final render, and title and credits were done by Anastasia.
So this is our pre-production, some images from the workshop that we did. At first it was really hard because we didn't have any idea what exactly we should do, and it was really difficult for us, but after like a day, like the second day of workshop, I think everything became easier and like we know what we're doing. And at first we thought that this is the hardest part of the stop motion, and after that it's gonna be easy, the shooting is easy, but it was wrong. It was really wrong. And this is some pictures. And we use wood for the head that Nicola showed me. And this is the part that we use the tape, the bandage for the body. and the production.
So after they completed the building of the clown, there was production. And we had a few struggles. We had a few problems that came up while we were filming as well, just like using an extremely bright green screen, and the whole clown decided to blend in with it because the reflections were an issue. So Nicola had a problem trying to separate the clown from the background. Aside from that, it was fairly easy, fairly okay, but it was also challenging in a way that all four of us had to take charge of a separate limb at first, because we wanted to be extremely careful how we went about it. It was like we paid attention to the smallest details. It was like one step after another. Each one of us took turns moving a limb each. But after we got used to the way of things, it started, going a little faster, a more fast-paced, but we didn't really, let off or anything. And yeah. This is this is what we were also doing sometimes. Towards the end of shooting, we would have a little fun with the clown. And that's it.
Any questions? We have.
Not a question, but the movement on the clown was amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, good animation on the clown. That was quite good. No one else? Go ahead.
I have a question. First of all, I agree. So I wrote very good animation, excellent movement, and very nice poses. You created poses that were really good, and also the anticipation, super nice. The timing, very good.
Very good
Yes.
timing.
We
Yeah.
try to
Very good
animate
timing.
Very
it.
good timing.
For
Yeah.
the movement, we try to do it ourselves and see that like because of it. That you observe that okay, now it is like.
You didn't record any of that for us to see?
Oh no, I think we have it
The
recorded.
first time for the storyboard we recorded.
Very
But
nice.
just to make sure we were going about it correctly, we have to do it separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um, So you said you had problems with the green screening.
Yes.
And you mentioned a little bit about the lights, but could you please, I know what the main issue was, but can you tell the rest of the room what caused the initial issue with the first part where you had the character walk in and the green screen and the yellow clothes? Remember what happened?
Yeah. So the first problem that we had was actually for the lighting. For the lighting, we didn't use just white light. We used yellow light because we thought like in this way they will imitate projectors, stage projectors a lot more closely because usually they are not straight white light. And also we used a, if I'm not mistaken, lighter shade of green. So the lighter shade of green with the combination with the lights really made on camera the upper part of the body and the background will look very similar. So when you try to key out everything, the upper body also got keyed out. So we had scrapped the first day of shooting, which was a bit defeating, I would say. But after that we changed a couple of things. But after that we also faced some complications. For example, the background we were using, the dark green was great, everything popped out of it. The problem was the light green tape and the light green armature. Yes, thank you.
Slightly different greens, yeah.
We are like in the program we have to separate, and because the armatures, the light green had shadows on them, every, let's say, layer of shadow on the light green counted as a different type of green, so it also got jumbled. If you try also to key it out on two different layers, let's call it, the outline will just stay there. Everything else will be fine, but the outline of the tape on the bottom would also be visible. Because once again, it counted as a different shade of green.
Did you try to mask it in After Effects, right?
I used DaVinci.
So, a point on this is in the Moodle, kind of too late now, I have a series of videos which talks about exactly this, how to key, and then when you have reflections on your character, you do another step where you do, I think, a garbage mat, or there's another step, that you can actually tell it, ignore everything that you've already keyed out, and now just key the character that has a bit of green, and you can easily key that out. But if you're using DaVinci, then it didn't really help you because it's difficult.
I mean, DaVinci also had some pretty helpful tools that help with the overall keying out of things.
Okay.
I think every program, like it's ups and downs.
Yeah.
Like for me, who has never done that before, DaVinci was very user-friendly, first time user-friendly, so I think for us at that moment we did made the best decisions that we could for the time.
And I have to say that we did anticipate the fleshing, is that what's called, or the boiling of the clothes. Because remember, there was a little bit of boiling in the beginning, but thankfully it wasn't completely noticeable for the whole shot.
Yeah.
I think our minds kind of, it wasn't so. But imagine if you would have left it really, really loose.
Because he also moves, the clothes don't look off when they move around.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that actually worked. And it was a good solution to tie down the misclothing, because that worked.
Also, for the people who don't know, at the beginning we had all the ends of the wrist at the ankles were loose,
Yeah.
very loose around, so it would be no bigger problem. So we just got some colored rubber bands, so we were able to put it up and lesser the boiling effect on the clothes.
Were these the ones that you were braiding your hair out of?
What was left?
I have a question. Could you go to the Gantt chart, please?
Yes.
Also, very nice that you showcase the making of process.
Yeah, very
Super nice presentation. What is this question mark in the
Oh,
production?
That was just left in the
Yeah.
Gantt chart because we got a general Gantt chart for everything.
Yeah,
not
I gave, yeah,
specific one,
yeah.
the
I gave a
line data.
template.
So
and-
if there's another step that is not listed here, we can list it. But that's all.
Dismissed. So that's really the time, but we can, if there's any more questions, we can continue. Any more questions? Okay. Let's give a big hand for Team Ray Harryhausen. You have to